Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Blossoms of Learning. Today in this video, I am going to explain the poem Another Woman written by Imitiaz Dharkar. So this poem Another Woman is about the sufferings of a married woman who is constantly ill-treated by her husband and mother-in-law. The woman in the poem represents many women who become victims of various ill treatment from the part of their husband and his family. There are still many places where women are just considered as someone whose prime duty is to cook and raise children. In many places, women are not taught or advised to chase their dreams. Instead, they are conditioned to believe that they are born to serve their husband and his family. And this servile attitude of women makes their life a tragedy. Now let's see the explanation of the poem. Another woman. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch, picked up a white radish, imagined the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet sharp taste, then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance, counted her coins out carefully, tied them, a small bundle, into her sari at the waist, came home, faced her mother in law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them, her hands stained yellow from the juice, cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot, salt and cumin seeds thrown in, over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. So here, the woman in the poem went to market and wrote some fenugreek. She chose the freshest bunch itself, then saw a white radish and imagined its taste, but she did not buy that because she thought that even having that radish is a kind of luxury. So she didn't buy that radish. So these lines shows her pathetic situation. She can't even eat the food which she likes. To her, even having a simple radish is luxury. And she counted her coins very carefully and wrapped the money with her sari and kept it at her waist. And when she comes home, she saw her mother in law who looked at her very angrily. She started cooking, she chopped the leaves, and cutting those leaves made her hands stained with yellow color, which was the color of the juice coming out of that leaves. Then she cut an onion and put all these vegetables into a pot and started cooking. She also added some salt and cumin seeds into the pot. She was cooking over a stove. She covered her face to protect her face from the heat which was coming out of the stove. Now, next stanza. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. She could hear abusive words from her mother in law, who insults her by talking about the money which was spent, and she even cursed her parents. She said that they had sent their daughter to cause misfortunes to her husband's home. See the next stanza. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face, nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. She didn't react to any of this ill treatment. Instead, she remained silent. She was sitting on the floor near the stove by hearing all these abusive words from her mother in law. And when her husband came, she didn't look into his face. She didn't even raise her head. Instead, she moved a little back. She didn't even have right to open her mouth and speak. Instead, she was expected to remain silent and listen all the abusive words. So these lines makes clear that she was not even considered as a family member. Next stanza. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. So here she looked the flame coming out of the stove, which touches the cheap old pot. She could see a brightening glare when the flame touches the blackened pot. Next stanza. This was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. So she was sent to this house where she was treated very badly, and that was the place where she had to spend rest of her life, and that was the man with whom she had to live. So when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark, it was the only choice that she had ever known. So finally, the woman in the poem, thrown kerosene, burned herself and decided to end her life because that was the only choice left to her. Another torch blazing in the dark, another woman, we shield our faces from the heat. So here she is not the first or last woman who chose to end her life because of the ill treatment received from husband and family. She is just another woman. And this plight of women started long ago and it still continues in our society. So, this poem is actually a revelation of various atrocities faced by women. There are still many women in our country who think death is far better than living at their husband's home. They lack hope in life. The woman in the poem also finally chose death to put an end to all sort of sufferings in her life. Hope you all understood the poem. Thank you for watching my video.